Meanwhile, here we are still debating whether the name should be Islamic or whether it should be named for Muslims or non-Muslims. How many Muslims are in South Africa? How many Muslims do we have in Kenya, where they have already adopted this system? Because we're looking beyond that. I remember about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I also attended an Islamic conference, Islamic finance conference, where Companion has sponsored the event. And I discovered that of all about 22 paper speakers that presented, less than 1/3 are Muslims. The remaining over 2/3 of them were actually non-Muslims. So it's become a field for those who are really interested in making money and in trying to have knowledge. It's not an exclusive thing for Muslims. The second one is that if you look at Nigeria today, you discover that banking concentration is in some places. I did an analysis of bank branches in Nigeria. We have about 5,400 branches of Nigerian banks. 40% is in the southwest, which means for every 100 branches of Nigeria banks you see, 40 of them are in the southwest. So if you are in Lagos, you may not know what other people are going through because you see bank branches maybe in the next building to you. It's not like that in all other parts of Nigeria, because some parts of the country have consciously said that as far as we don't have Islamic banking, they are not going to participate in this current mode of banking. So if you go to Northeast, for instance, you have only 344 branches, which is just 6% of the total branches that we have in Nigeria. That is what Islamic banking is going to do. It's going to bring all those into the realm of formal financial system, and therefore more people can join the formal financial system. Those who have been staying away can come in and benefit from that. We expect that will translate to development, because when people now have access to branches of finance or branches of banks to which they can relate with, to which their religion can relate with, they will now participate in patronizing banking. And then all the systems, all the monetary system, monetary policy, financial policy that government is doing will become much more effective. They say about 21% of Nigerians have access to finance, which means for every 100 Nigerians, only 21 people really have bank accounts. The remaining 79, where are they? A sizable portion of that 79 are Muslims who don't want to have anything to do with the conventional banking system. So these are two critical areas that Islamic banking will address development issues in Nigeria. But the process are this. Rabbi, number one, I just came back from also a course in the US, and we took half a day to talk about microfinance and Islamic banking. And part of the challenges we have seen, even in economies that have practiced Islamic banking, is that microfinance banks have not been able to really develop products to address the challenges of the poor people. And this, if you look at Muslims in Nigeria, majority of us belong to this spectrum of society. What really can we do? Because even in countries that have adopted Islamic bank like Bangladesh, Pakistan, all their poverty eradicating banks are conventional banks charging flat rate of 3% per month, 4% per month. How can Islamic banking, which kind of Islamic products can we have? I have to ask this question because I think myself and Brother we were discussing this and said, okay, can we establish a microfinance bank? And I asked, can microfinance bank really deliver Islamic banking products the way it is conceived? So we need to take that. The other issue has to do with the readiness of all of us, myself and yourself. Now, for you to benefit from all the products I have mentioned, especially in accessing finance, if a bank, an Islamic bank, is going to participate in your business and share profits with you and share losses with you, it means there must be documentation, there must be records, there must be transparency, there must be structure. How many of our businesses have this? I can tell you the number of Nigerians that have access to loan, even from the 24 banks that we have today, because I'm in a position to look at just about 3 million people. Now, we expect that if Islamic finance come, more people will do. But we don't want a situation where 4 or 5 years down the line from today, We will have Islamic finance, Islamic banks, and we'll still be complaining that people don't have access to finance. That is going to happen if you do not build your businesses in a way that can be financed by a typical bank. If I do not build my businesses in a way that a typical bank can finance it, I think I want us to take that. Finally, is the issue of knowledge. One of the challenges that Islamic banking has all over the world is this setting up of Sharia Council, which has to make sure that all the products, all the transactions they are funding is in compliance with the Sharia. Then you discover that while you have people who are extremely very knowledgeable on Islamic affairs, they have little knowledge about finance. So there is that wide gap, and therefore you see a lot of debates in them approving products, because they need to understand the fundamentals of finance for them to be able to advise the banks. They are Islamic scholars, but they are not finance scholars. We then need to develop ourselves to also, those of us who are Islamic scholars, to also have very good knowledge of finance, so that we can be in advisory capacity to advise these people. He mentioned a prof that has become a known name, but that is just one drop in the ocean. We need more people along this line. May Allah bless you. These are just my contributions. Assalamu alaikum
Once again, like the Amira said, on my program before I traveled, I think it was on the 5th of Ramadan, a third call from Calabar. They don't mind our leaders. They don't know what they are saying. When I want to buy cow, do I ask the cow seller whether it's a Muslim or a Christian? When I want to buy tomatoes, do I ask them whether it's a Muslim or a Christian? And when they want to buy palm oil from us in Calabar, do they ask us whether we are Muslim or Christians? Our leaders do not know what they are saying. Interestingly, what he has said tells us that the problem with the campaign is that the Muslims have actually not made the best use of the medium to tell people what Islam is all about. I don't intend to go beyond that. But I have my worries, which I mentioned when he delivered his own speech, talk, while we had the recording. The essence of Islamic banking is to bail people out of poverty, because the Prophet has said poverty could lead to kufru. Mahatma Gandhi said poverty is the worst form of oppression. But if we are not there, how can we benefit? We know more than 2/3 of those working, 2/3 of those writing, 2/3 of those benefiting from Islamic banking today are non-Muslims. And that is where we should now make this a kind of a clarion call on Islamic organizations to make conscious efforts, especially for those of our brothers who are already well trained in the Western banking, what do they call it? It's easier to bring those who have been in the banking industry into Islamic banking than to take scholars from even areas of Islam, like inheritance. As scholars, you find them, they couldn't do anything. See, and that's why I'm calling on the companion, the criterion, the maker of this world, and on and on. There is need for a training to be paid for, where we can now change our erstwhile Westernly trained bankers into Islamic, what do they call, so that, a Tunde Popola today will do more in Islam, in Islamic banking, because there is nothing they will be talking about in the Western banking. Really what we talk about in Islamic banking is comparative banking between Islam and the Western. We are not talking of either Western, we are also not talking of Islamic banking. But how do we bring the two together to meet up with the current challenges? And that is why the Islamic organization, why do we need to do this? The multiplier effect that such things will generate, because Today, it's easier for the bank to throw away a Muslim because majority of those who are even at the top are non-Muslims. But if they discover that you have their God, which is money, they are bound to retain you. But our brothers are not there. And that's why I'm saying the Muslim organizations need to, more than ever before, make conscious effort to train ourselves on Islam so that we will be able to benefit from. There is no stopping. Nobody can stop Islamic banking. Islamic banking, it is, we know, but will the Muslims benefit from it? Will the expected multiplier effect be seen in Muslim homes? We may have Islamic banks. But like Mohammed Asustate said, he said you may have Islamic banks and if you don't have any report on the Muslims, that's the area of challenge. Salam alaikum.
It was written in 1992, 19 or 20 years ago. I want to quote Professor Kenneth.
One meeting, please.
About this Islamic identity issue. This Professor Kenneth of University of Colorado State, about this book written by one of our brothers on Islamic economic system, which he defines as a system that combines Islamic business, Islamic financial system. This man said that the author's plan for the regeneration of Islamic economy is a combination of Quranic wisdom. It's a Christian speaking. It's a combination of Quranic wisdom with a good deal of modern economics, and it's quite sophisticated. This work makes an important contribution to the understanding of Islam for those who do not belong to the Islamic culture. In fact, if it's taken seriously, within Islam itself, it will produce the very desirable changes we are looking for. 1992, 20 years ago by a Christian. Within Islam itself, within Islam, and we have no apology to Allah to raise the banner of Islam anywhere. We should not bow down to those who are saying, we remove Muhammad, remove Muhammad, remove Mansour, remove Shakira from your name before we can accept you in society. That's where I should go. Where we are going to free form and our name, Muslim name will no longer be there. We will sacrifice and please there by saying, Kola, Adeola, Ebanso, Taiwo, Adeolo, Wale Abiru, Ile Kokola, Wale Yorati. Taofeek Agbaje ìlú, Ibrahim Ìdúgbòmí ìlú, and so many like that. I think that great men were lying. If you never order Tinubu for that, that's what they do there. In the guidance the issue started, you will be surprised. And look at the caption. I'm sure that was not a caption. The need to ask the brother of that. Your caption was not the problem of Nigeria. Was that your caption? That was your caption. Okay, you have to look at that. However, this one. I contract. Number one, human development. Just like he said, this is a big challenge. What happened in my days is happening, how are we going to bridge the gap? Brother Ahmed, Tutuku Kola, and others, you have to take this one off. Ahmed Kokola. We need to start our brothers a kind of what I call local organizational seminar, training institute, in collaboration with Islamic Foundation, with Triple IT, and many of them like that. It's unfortunate that most books written by all these courses, Christian here and there. Because if we do not have the people, they will continue to lead us. So, human development, taking training as a program. Your leadership academy is one of the curriculum, but I met again. Number two, higher institutions. We need to go back to the institutions. When the Christian religion was coming, they did not leave the school alone. They made sure that PRK is one of the subjects in the curriculum. The same thing we have to try here. Get some of the institutions where Islamic studies, with particular reference to Islamic finance, can be one of the things we can see certificate. Number three, capitalization. The experience we had when the bank moved from ordinary 50-20 million to 2 billion on Nigeria should not be repeated. It's a risk flight on the Muslim woman. that we cannot raise ordinarily 2 billion in 10, 15, 20 years. In fact, people thought that I was part of that program. I was never part of the project at all. But anywhere I went, they were asking me, where is Agbaje, where is Agbaje, where is Agbaje? People did not, the contribution was so low that we were able to make it 2 billion. How much now we are talking of 20 billion? But I was consoled, even by Brother Taofeek Agbaje himself, at his lecture I attended, the thing, when he said that having a lot of that, we have got 3 approval in principles, which I hope that we will discuss and see in what way can we really contribute to ensure that this thing got off the paper. They are actually physical bank that members of the woman will contribute to. What I mean by that, the capitalization is that please, when is the book or the shares come out, buy as you are buying your Union Bank, as you are buying Nestle, you are buying all those companies. Raise this money, ensure that we meet the capitalization requirement. And finally, what I call quick fix, that is start now. Nonprofit has already taken this cue. They have started now. Though they call it non-interest cooperative society, we shall call it Islamic cooperative society. Every organization, the companion, the criterion, the authority, we need to spread this all about. Let us start from the old, start Islamic cooperative society, removing interest from it, and then we can really move forward. Thank you very much.
The most interesting part of the most important thing Muslim has to do is to do da'wah, and that's what we are doing now. And I thank God for all our brothers who are carrying on this project, who are going around telling people about this issue. And also I want to say we have to educate ourselves a lot more. We Muslims, a lot of people will be asking us, this is your Islamic banking, what is it about? And I believe most of us will not be able to answer some of the questions they'll be asking us. So that's why this kind of gathering is important. And we are all, most of us that are here are learned. We're all, you know, in a place of, a place where we are leaders in our own right. So I want us to, like we have had this discussion today, I want us to go a little further by helping us, giving us, if not books, but handouts. Like the Amira said, what we have had now, let us have it in handout and give it to people. It's part of dawah. Let us spend our money to print out this handout and distribute it to people. And I'm sure most of us that are here will be able to take it and read it and digest it and know a lot more. And let us recommend books. Let us recommend books. Like my brothers have said that he has got a book. Let us have books that we can buy and read and even share among ourselves that will enlighten us about what Islamic banking is all about. In our higher institution, direct banking and finance, we have a little Islamic banking discussion, and which is not even anything about, anything to write about. And if we have had that particular subject treated very well among the banking and finance students, we will have helped them, equipped them a lot. We will know a lot more about what Islamic banking is all about. So, the Almighty Allah continue to help us as we continue this crusade. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. I will continue where the brothers stopped. We have departments of banking, we have economics department all over our universities. There should be optional courses, and people should be able to endow shares. That is, if you give funds to a university, for instance, those of us who are living like alumni, that Department of Banking and Finance, we want a course in Islamic banking for those who are studying economics, and we are ready to fund it, we will move forward. Euro money, I'm sure the owners are Christian. They are always sending mails to us about Islamic banking courses that they are running. That's Euro money. Because they are profit oriented. I attended a course in South Africa in February. The facilitator, a German Jew, he was a German Jew, and he was even advertising Islamic courses that he is facilitating. He has worked in banks all over Europe, and he says that he was diagnosed of cancer, and they left the banking sector. But he's now making even more money from facilitating courses all over the world, and he has updated himself even up to Islamic banking that he came to me and said that you want to come to join my course, I'm running a course in Dubai, this and that, you'll be my special guest. You know, that sort of thing. He's a German Jew, but it is versatile. What are we doing? That's one. Two, a matter of trust. Some of us subscribe to that Jaiz bank, whether it's small or not. We know no feedback. Because business is about feedback. Even if there are losses, you must get feedback. That's why people are afraid to put money down. I invested in one ethical fund. I'm a fund manager myself. I invested when they said they were doing that ethical fund, and they came to advertise it to me. I said, well, as a Muslim, let me put the minimum money, let me test them and see how the fund will perform. I have my own stuff that I manage, but I also measure. And later, they return my money. They return 40% of my investment. They said they are winding up the fund because it wasn't doing well. So the fund manager has paid himself 60% of my money and is giving. I don't find it funny. And that is because people, for you to put money together and say you want to invest, and then because of your religious thing, you want to put it in a religious product, and then at the end of the day, they bring back, they say they are winding up the fund, you should take 40% of your investment, and that's the end of it. Where do we go from there? So all these things we are talking about is a matter of trust. Because if somebody is going to give you money and you say you are bringing in your intellectual power and use your intellectual power to erode your money, have you been fair? So those are all the things that we need to address. It's nice to sit in a room and talk about halal, halal, halal. But let's look at ourselves. How many people have you given money that nothing came back? And the person will say they have the expertise. I'm interested in halal investment. But if you continue to give out money and nothing is coming back, before you know it, everybody will be on the street.
Just early last month, I appeared on a program on radio where I had to explain the criterion program, and my number was given out to people. It has to do with the empowerment. Wallahi to God making. I have received over 70 calls from Muslims in particular. This one I want to pay my house rent. This one my children are out of school. This one I can't fund my family. This and the rest. And I look at myself. How do I do this? How do I go about it? Just to tell you the level of poverty. It is so much, the level of poverty that the Muslims have. And I feel that this kind of a bank will be an opportunity for us to develop as individuals and as a group. Now, another thing, I want to remind us of something which we have decided here over a year ago. At a particular program here, a particular committee was set up as regards business. If I cannot remember the brothers, I could remember Elijah Muiba Abbas and Dr. Jamila Yaku and members of that committee. Economic empowerment, something I cannot remember now. And we are asked to go and sit down and look at a way of pulling resources together and doing something that has to do with halal, which we can come up with. Where is that committee? I think it has grown more rebound. Again, there was also a suggestion I gave there that when you go out there, you see Jesus is good pure water. You see salvation bread. You see this. I was happy last week when I saw Axie water on the radio. I saw the Society of Nigeria water. What has criterion and companion blood? Salaam alaikum.
And we have been talking about Agbaje for a number of years. It's not seen the light of day. What's the assurance that when this comes to fruition, that we will actually see it, and these investors in conventional banks will invest in Agbaje? And then finally, you talked about, towards the end of your lecture, you talked about we are all living in river. It's scary. Please, if you bank with a conventional bank, without collecting interest. Because I remember when I had an account with Citizens Bank then, I told them that I do not want interest. But I don't know what eventually happened. If you bank with a conventional bank, are you living in riba? Thank you.
I cannot be more educated than any other person because of this topic. It's a topic that I'm so much interested in. It's a bit I agree with. But I've had several lectures on this, and I can say one or two things, especially being in the conventional banking industry. You see, Islamic banking is just beautiful. And what we have been saying, everybody has been saying is that what we need to do as Muslims is acquire the knowledge. We shouldn't even wait for anybody to organize any lecture. Let's go and read up about Islamic banking. Because the responsibility lies on us as a Muslim for anybody to just challenge you. What is this Islamic banking about? If you don't know what to say about it, you need to be acute with knowledge about it. By the time you sit down with a person and tell them, there's one point I usually use to puncture them. I said, look at Islamic banking. Islamic banking is such useful and such that you share profit and you share losses. I mean, people are very well assured about that. In conventional banking, if you are giving the facility in the bank, whether you take a loss or not, your interest is waiting for you. You will pay that interest through your loan. But in Islamic banking, if truly it has been verified that a loss was made in that transaction, Islamic banking will share the loss with you. That's one of the beauties of Islamic banking. I mean, even if you tell a Christian that they are ready to listen, somebody has gone into my house and said, oh, I don't like Islamic. The only thing is the name. They should just remove that Islamic and just put it non-interest. And I said to them that it's very easy. We are saying Islamic bank. Why don't you guys bring up another Christian bank? Nobody is saying it's compulsory for you to do it. But these are what it entails. And the man said to me, why don't you just start that Islamic banking with me? If it entails sharing of losses. So many people have done businesses that because of those sorts of they have made losses. But conventional banking doesn't want to know whether you take a loss or not. You have to pay the interest. I know. So it's very beautiful and it's nice for us to just read up about Islamic banking. By the time we read it up, we are able to face our Christian counterparts. And when they know what it entails, they also want it. I probably even tell them that don't mind the Christians. By the time we start it, they'll be the ones that will enjoy it more. They'll be the ones that will enjoy Islamic banking even more than Muslims. And then apart from that, there's one question I need to ask brother Agbaje, and this is something that has been relating in my mind every time, that is Nigeria, it's a question that somebody posed to me, that are we really set for Islamic banking in Nigeria? Why did they ask that question? It's such that when we're talking about sharing of profits and losses, that Nigeria being where we are, somebody might be making a profit in a business and then he comes to the bank and says, I made a loss. Just because they want the bank to share the loss with you. So what are the regulatory frameworks and the checks and balances that are available for this kind of scenario? Thank you.
Are we set for Islamic banking? Yes. I have worked in Islamic banking for over 5 years, and everything we do here is in line with the Sharia, and we can make money in that line. We're ready. And all the contracts I've taught today are contracts that exist. There are many more. And I don't want to bother you about those. I've bothered you only about the things that have existed in Nigeria. Regarding the money, I've read that circulation of knowledge. Lotus Capital does training every year. We do training, the pay training. You pay for it, you come. We usually bring Monster Cap. Last year we partnered with Java Institute of Bankers. This year we partnered with, I think, Red Money, and so on. We do every year. And like I said, we go all over. Again, publicity is very expensive. The cost of the Islamic asset manager is very slim. The money we have is not, we're not like, we don't get COT. We don't get freebies. We do that. I'm telling you, if you are not receiving mails, it's because your email is wrong. At the worst, the regulatory requirement is that every 6 months we must communicate with you, and we do that. If you're not receiving anything, please call to correct your email and your phone numbers, because we do send SMSs as well. And then you collect your PIN number to all your accounts. Again, how many people are you giving money that is deposited and money not coming back? In the same light, you can throw these questions here and there. You can ask the question, how many Muslims do we also give money and run away? They call Allah, they will swear, you will see sujood marks like knee, like somebody's knees, and they will run away with money. So it's not, we can't manufacture money, it's the money you give to us that we give to other people, and it's from there that we make money that we pay back.